The ESL classroom was her only safe place until he looked at her like she mattered. Maya had 3 months to pass the citizenship interview, 2 kids who asked when Daddy would stop calling, and a teacher who stayed after class to help her practice words she couldn't say out loud, like deserve and stay. She'd left everything behind in Manila, the apartment where she'd learned to be quiet, the neighbors who never asked about bruises. The life that had taught her love was supposed to hurt. Portland rain felt different, softer. The community center smelled like coffee and old books. Daniel's voice was patient when he corrected her pronunciation. His eyes were kind when she stumbled over past tense, present hope. Then he asked her to coffee. She could say no, keep her head down, finish the classes, build her new life alone the way she'd planned. Or she could risk believing that starting over might mean more than just surviving. Her hand hesitated on the classroom door. The community center lobby smelled like rain and burnt coffee. Maya kept her eyes down as she walked past the bulletin board covered in flyers she couldn't read fast enough. Her children's hands were small in hers, soft, trusting in a way that made her chest tight. She stopped at the classroom door. Through the window, she could see empty chairs arranged in a circle, no desks to hide behind. Lucia tugged on her sleeve. "Mama, I'm hungry." "After class," Maya whispered. She had granola bars in her purse, the kind on sale. "Be good for Miss Rosa, okay?" The childcare room was 2 doors down. Rosa smiled when she saw them. Maya tried to smile back. Her face felt stiff. She wanted to leave, walk back out into the rain. But the citizenship interview was in 3 months, and she needed to pass. The classroom door opened on quiet hinges. A man stood by the whiteboard, writing something in blue marker. He turned when she entered. Dark hair, glasses, a cardigan that looked soft. "Hi," he said. "I'm Daniel. You're Maya?" She nodded. Her pronunciation was never right. Maya, not Maya. "Great, welcome." He gestured to the circle of chairs. "Sit anywhere you like." She chose the seat closest to the door. Old habit, always know where the exit is. Other students filtered in, a woman in a hijab, an older man with calloused hands, a teenager with headphones around his neck. They all looked as nervous as Maya felt. Daniel waited until everyone was seated. Then he sat too, in the circle, not standing over them. "Let's start with introductions," he said. His voice was calm, not too loud. "Just your name and where you're from. I'll go first. I'm Daniel Park. My parents came here from Seoul before I was born." He looked at the woman in the hijab. She spoke softly. "Somalia, 3 years here." Then the older man. "Vietnam. 6 months. The circle moved. Maya's turn approached like a wave. "Maya Santos." Her voice came out quieter than she wanted. "Philippines, 5 months." Daniel wrote her name on a card in front of him. His handwriting was neat. "Thank you, Maya." He didn't ask anything else. Didn't push. Relief made her shoulders drop an inch. The class moved forward. Daniel wrote words on the board, simple ones. Home, safe, future. He asked them to use each word in a sentence. The older man said, "I want home." The teenager said, "Future is hard." Maya's turn again. She stared at the word safe on the board. Her mouth wouldn't open. Daniel waited. No rush. No impatience in his eyes. "Safe is..." She stopped. Started again. "Safe is important." He nodded, wrote it down, moved to the next person. Class ended after an hour. Maya gathered her things quickly, but Daniel appeared beside her desk. "You did well today," he said. She looked at him. Really looked. He meant it. There was no pity in his face, just something warm. "Thank you," she managed. The words felt true in her mouth. Lucia and Miguel were playing with blocks when Maya arrived at the childcare room. Rosa was reading to another child in the corner. "Mama!" Lucia ran over. "We made a tower." Miguel toddled after his sister. His face was sticky with something purple. Daniel had followed Maya to the door. He crouched down to Lucia's level. "That's a great tower," he said. "Did you build it all by yourself?" Lucia nodded proudly, then looked at Miguel. "He helped a little." Daniel laughed. It was a nice sound. Easy. Maya felt something strange in her chest. Not fear, something else. Miguel stared at Daniel with wide eyes, then held up his purple hands. "Ah," Daniel said. "Grape juice?" "Grape," Miguel repeated carefully. Rosa appeared with wet wipes. "Sorry, Maya, snack time got messy." "It's okay." Maya took the wipes, started cleaning Miguel's hands. The motion was automatic, familiar. When she looked up, Daniel was watching her. Not the children, her. Their eyes met for half a second before she looked away. The rain had stopped outside. That night, after the kids were asleep, Maya sat on the edge of her rented bed. The room was small, one window, a hot plate in the corner that the landlord pretended not to know about. She opened her notebook, the one where she practiced writing English words. Home, safe, future. Her pen hovered over the page. In Manila, home had been a third-floor apartment with bars on the windows. Raphael had said they were for protection, to keep bad people out. But Maya learned they also kept good people in. She remembered the night she'd left. Lucia asleep on her shoulder. Miguel in the carrier against her chest. 2 suitcases and a plane ticket bought with money hidden in a tampon box for 8 months. Raphael's voice on the phone the next morning. Angry, then pleading, then threatening. The Philippine phone number still called sometimes. She never answered. But she saw it flash on the screen, felt her heart race. Safe, the word on the board today. She wasn't sure she knew what it meant anymore, only what it wasn't. Maya closed the notebook. The room was quiet except for Miguel's soft breathing from the air mattress on the floor. Outside, Portland hummed with night traffic and distant sirens. The next class was Wednesday. Maya arrived early. The lobby was empty except for an older Latina woman at the front desk. "Maya Santos?" the woman asked. Maya nodded. "I'm Carmen Rodriguez. I coordinate the refugee support program here." She came around the desk. Warm smile, kind eyes. "Do you have a few minutes?" They sat in chairs by the window. Rain streaked the glass. "Daniel mentioned you're doing well in ESL," Carmen said, "but he noticed you get stuck sometimes, on certain words." Maya's stomach tightened. "My English is not good." "Your English is fine," Carmen's voice was firm. "But trauma has a language too, and sometimes our bodies remember what our minds try to forget." The words hit Maya like cold water. Carmen leaned forward. "I left my husband 23 years ago, took my daughters and drove 8 hours to my sister's house. Didn't tell him we were leaving." Maya's throat closed. "The ESL class helped," Carmen continued. "But what helped more was learning I wasn't alone, that there were other women who understood." She paused. "Daniel is a good teacher, patient, but if you ever need someone who knows what it's like, I'm here." Maya couldn't speak, could only nod. Carmen stood, squeezed Maya's shoulder gently. "You're safe here. I mean that." Then she walked away, leaving Maya sitting by the window with tears on her face and something fragile blooming in her chest. Hope. Maybe that was the word. Class that day was easier. Daniel taught them past tense. Was, were, had been. "I was scared," the Somali woman said. Was, the teenager tried. "I was tired," the older Vietnamese man said. Maya's turn. She looked at the board, at the words, at Daniel's patient face. "I was alone," she said, then added, "but I am not now." Daniel's pen stopped moving. He looked at her. "That's perfect, Maya." His voice was soft. Past and present in one thought. After class, he asked her to stay. The other students filed out. The room emptied. Maya's pulse picked up. Not fear, something different. I wanted to offer extra help, Daniel said. He stayed on the other side of the room, gave her space. If you're interested, twice a week after regular class, just conversation practice, no pressure. She should say no. Keep her distance. Focus on passing the test and nothing else. Okay, she heard herself say. Daniel smiled. It changed his whole face, made him look younger. Great. Thursday and Monday work for you? Maya nodded. See you Thursday then. She gathered her things. At the door, she looked back. He was erasing the board, humming something under his breath. The hallway smelled like coffee again. Thursday came. Maya dropped the kids at childcare. Rosa winked at her. Maya pretended not to notice. The classroom was empty when she arrived. Just Daniel, 2 chairs facing each other, and a thermos. I brought tea, he said. Hope that's okay. Green tea. My mom makes me take it everywhere. He poured her a cup. Their fingers brushed when she took it. Brief. Warm. They practiced conversation. He asked simple questions. Where did she work? A restaurant on Morrison Street. What did she cook? Adobo, sometimes. Pancit. But mostly prep work. Chopping vegetables. Washing dishes. Do you like cooking? Daniel asked. No one had asked her that before. What she liked. Yes, Maya said slowly. When I was young, my Lola, my grandmother, she taught me. We cooked together every Sunday. The memory was soft, warm. She made the best lumpia. I love lumpia, Daniel said. His eyes lit up. There's a Filipino restaurant near my apartment. Mamalita's? I know it. Maya almost smiled. The owner is from Cebu, like my Lola. They talk for 30 minutes about food, about grandmothers, about small things that felt big. Then Daniel said, Can I ask you something? You can say no. Maya's hands tightened on her teacup. Would you want to get coffee sometime? Not here, just coffee. Maybe Saturday morning, if you're free. The room went very still. Maya's first instinct was to run, to say no, to protect herself and her children and the fragile new life she was building. But Carmen's words echoed. You're safe here. And Daniel's eyes were kind, patient, waiting without pushing. I have my kids on Saturday, Maya said. They can come too. He said it easily, like it was obvious. There's a place with a play area, if you're comfortable with that. Her heart was beating too fast. This was dangerous, letting someone in, trusting, hoping. Okay, she whispered. Daniel's smile was soft, genuine. Okay. Outside, the rain started again, tapping against the windows like a gentle drumbeat. Maya didn't go to class the following Monday, or Wednesday. She told herself it was because Miguel had a cold, because her shift at the restaurant changed, because she needed to focus on studying alone. The real reason sat heavier. Coffee on Saturday had been easy, too easy. Lucia had played in the colorful tubes while Miguel sat in Daniel's lap, pointing at birds outside the window. Daniel had bought them muffins without asking if it was okay, had made Miguel laugh by making silly faces, and Maya had felt something dangerous, comfortable, like maybe this could be normal. Then on Sunday night, her phone buzzed. She saw the Manila number and her whole body went cold. She was washing dishes at the restaurant when Daniel appeared. Tuesday evening, the dinner rush had just ended. He stood near the kitchen door, hands in his pockets. One of the servers must have let him back. Maya froze, knife in hand, half a carrot on the cutting board. You missed class, he said, not accusing, just factual. I was busy. She turned back to the carrots, kept chopping. The rhythm was safe, predictable. Okay. He didn't move. Did I do something wrong? On Saturday? The knife slipped. Not enough to cut her, just enough to make her hands shake. No. Then why are you avoiding me? Maya set the knife down, turned to face him. The kitchen was loud with clanging pots and shouted orders in Spanish and Vietnamese. I can't. She searched for the right English words. This is too much. I need to focus. On my kids, on citizenship, on work. Daniel took a step closer, stopped when she tensed. I'm not asking you to choose between me and those things, Maya. Yes, you are. Her voice came out sharper than intended. Maybe you don't mean to, but that's what happens. People say they understand, then they want more, then they get tired of waiting. I'm not him. The words hung between them. Maya's chest tightened. You don't know what you're saying. Then tell me. Daniel's voice was gentle, infuriatingly patient. Help me understand. A pot crashed behind them. The head chef yelled something about timing. Maya's manager appeared looking annoyed. Santos, breaks in 10 minutes, not now. Daniel held up his hands. Sorry, I'm leaving. But he looked at Maya one more time. Thursday, extra practice session. If you want to come, I'll be there. Then he was gone. Maya stared at the cutting board, at the half-chopped carrots. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Thursday, Maya went. She told herself it was because she needed the practice. The citizenship interview was in 10 weeks now. She couldn't afford to fall behind. Daniel was setting up when she arrived. He looked up. Something in his face relaxed. Hey! Hi. They sat in the two chairs. The thermos of tea sat on the small table between them. I'm sorry, Maya said before he could speak. For what I said, you didn't deserve that. Daniel poured tea into 2 cups. You don't have to apologize for protecting yourself. The words were so unexpected that Maya looked up sharply. He met her eyes. I mean it. Whatever happened before I met you, it taught you to be careful. That's not something to apologize for. Maya's throat felt tight. Then why are you here? Because I think you deserve someone who's patient enough to wait. He handed her a cup. And because I really like talking to you. They sat in silence for a moment, not uncomfortable, just present. My ex-husband, Maya said slowly. The words felt heavy. He called on Sunday. I haven't answered in months, but he still calls. Daniel's jaw tightened slightly, but he didn't interrupt. He wants me to come back. Keeps saying the kids need their father, that I'm being selfish. She stared at her tea. Sometimes I wonder if he's right. He's not. The certainty in Daniel's voice made her look up. You left for a reason, he continued. You took your kids and started over in a country where you didn't speak the language fluently, where you didn't have family, where everything was unfamiliar. People don't do that unless staying is worse. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. She blinked them back. The building where I rent my room, she said. Carmen told me yesterday. Your family owns it. Daniel went very still. What? The apartment building on Burnside. Your mother's name is on the lease paperwork. I didn't know you lived there. His voice was urgent. Maya, I swear. I don't manage the properties. That's my older brother. I didn't make the connection. I know. And she did. Could see the truth in his face. But it's complicated now. You're my teacher. Your family is my landlord. If something goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. You can't promise that. Daniel leaned forward, elbows on his knees. You're right, I can't. But I can promise I'll be honest with you. That I won't push. That if you need me to back off, I will. Maya looked at him, really looked, at the sincerity in his face. The way he'd stayed on his side of the space between them. Okay, she said softly. Okay? Let's try. Coffee again, but just us this time. No kids, Saturday morning. Daniel's smile was slow, warm, like sunrise. I'd like that. Saturday came wrapped in rare October sunshine. Maya left Lucia and Miguel with Rosa, who ran a weekend childcare swap program. The coffee shop Daniel chose was small, local, the kind with mismatched furniture and art on the walls. He was already there when she arrived, at a corner table with 2 cappuccinos waiting. I guessed your order, he admitted, but I can get something else if you don't like it. Maya sat down, looked at the foam heart on top of the coffee. It's perfect. They talked about easy things first. The weather, the new Vietnamese restaurant that opened on Division Street, how Miguel had learned to say balloon and now said it constantly. Then Daniel asked, "What made you choose Portland?" Maya wrapped her hands around the warm cup. "Carmen, we connected online through a support network. She helped me find the apartment, the job, get the kids enrolled in programs. I'd never been here before I arrived." "That must have been terrifying." "It was." Maya took a sip. The coffee was good, rich and smooth, but staying was more terrifying. Daniel waited, let the silence hold space. "Raphael, my ex, he was charming at first, funny, attentive. We got married when I was 23. The words came easier than expected. The first time he hit me, he cried after, said he'd never do it again. I believed him." She looked out the window, watched people walk by with their easy Saturdays. "It got worse after Lucia was born, then Miguel. He said I was a bad mother, that I was lucky he stayed, that no one else would want me." Maya's voice stayed level, factual. "I started to believe that too." "Maya," Daniel's voice was rough. She looked at him. His eyes were bright with something fierce. "You are not what he said you were," Daniel said. "You're brave. You're strong. You're rebuilding an entire life from nothing." "I'm scared all the time," the confession slipped out. "Being scared doesn't make you less brave. It makes you more." They sat with that truth between them. Then Daniel's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His face changed. "What is it?" Maya asked. "My mom," he sighed. "She wants me to come to dinner tomorrow. Says it's important." "You should go. Come with me." Maya nearly dropped her cup. "What?" "Come to dinner. Meet my family. I want them to know you." "Daniel, that's..." She searched for words. "That's too fast. Too much." "Maybe." He reached across the table, stopped just before touching her hand, asking permission. "But I'm tired of keeping the important things separate." Maya looked at his hand, at the space between his fingers and hers. Slowly, she closed the distance. His hand was warm, steady, real. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll come." The Park family home was in Eastmoreland, large, well-kept, the kind of house Maya cleaned for other people. Daniel parked on the street, turned to her before getting out. "My mom can be intense, but she means well. My dad is quieter. My older brother James, he's the serious one. And my sister Grace, she's in med school. Very direct." Maya's stomach churned. Maybe this was a mistake. "Hey," Daniel took her hand again. "If it gets uncomfortable, we leave. I promise." They walked up the front path together. The door opened before they reached it. A woman stood there, small, elegant. Her eyes went immediately to their joined hands. "Daniel," her voice was cool. "You're late." "Sorry, Mom, traffic." He gestured to Maya. "This is Maya Santos. Maya, this is my mother, Sunja Park." "Hello, Mrs. Park." Maya's voice came out smaller than intended. Sunja's eyes moved over her, taking inventory. "Come in." The house smelled like ginger and garlic. Beautiful. But Maya felt like she was tracking dirt on the clean floors. The family was in the dining room. Daniel's father stood to shake Maya's hand. Warm, kind eyes like his son. James barely looked up from his phone. Grace, the sister, stared openly. "So you're the one who's been keeping Daniel busy," Grace said. "Grace," Daniel's voice held warning. "What? I'm just curious." Grace smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "How did you two meet?" "Maya is in my ESL class," Daniel said. The temperature in the room dropped. Sunja set down her glass. "You're dating a student?" "She's not," Daniel started. "I'm learning English," Maya interrupted, found her voice. "Daniel is a very good teacher." I'm sure he is. Sunja's tone was polite, perfectly cold. And where are you from, Maya? Manila, Philippines. How long have you been in the country? 5 months. And you have children? Maya's hands clenched under the table. Yes, 2. But no husband? Grace asked. Grace. This time it was their father, soft but firm. That's enough. Dinner was served. Maya barely tasted the food. Beautiful Korean dishes she didn't know the names for. Everyone made polite conversation, but she felt every question behind the questions. How long are you staying? What are your intentions? What do you want from our son? After dessert, Sunja asked to speak with Daniel alone. Maya ended up in the living room with Grace. The silence was heavy. Look, Grace said finally, I don't know you, but Daniel is my baby brother, and he has this thing where he tries to save people. Maya looked at her. I don't need saving. Good. Grace's face softened slightly. Because if you're just looking for a green card or money or whatever, you should know Daniel doesn't have much of either. He's a teacher at a community center. Our parents are comfortable, but Daniel chose his own path. I'm not looking for those things. Then what are you looking for? Maya thought about that. About Portland Rain and ESL classes and the way Daniel made her kids laugh. Someone who sees me, she said quietly. Not what I've been through, not what I can offer, just me. Grace studied her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Okay. Daniel appeared in the doorway. His face was tight. Ready to go? He asked Maya. She stood immediately. Yes. They left without saying goodbye. In the car, Daniel gripped the steering wheel hard. I'm sorry, he said. That was awful. I shouldn't have brought you. What did your mother say? He was quiet for a long moment. That I'm being reckless, that you're vulnerable and I'm taking advantage, that people will talk. Maya's chest hurt. She's not wrong. Yes, she is. Daniel turned to her. You're not vulnerable. You're rebuilding. That's different. And I'm not taking advantage. I'm falling for you. The words hung in the car between them. Maya couldn't breathe. Don't say that. Why not? Because it's too much, because I'm not ready, because I have kids and a citizenship interview and an ex-husband who won't stop calling, and I can't. Her phone rang. They both looked at it. The Manila number lit up the screen. Maya's hands started to shake. Don't answer it, Daniel said. But Maya's fingers moved on their own. She hit the green button, put it on speaker. Hello? Raphael's voice filled the car. Smooth, familiar, poison disguised as honey. Maya, finally! I've been trying to reach you for weeks. What do you want? I want my family back. Is that so wrong? He sighed. The kids need their father. Lucia is almost 8. Miguel won't even remember me soon. That's not my problem. Actually, it is. His voice hardened. I talked to a lawyer. Did you know I can file for custody? Claim you kidnapped them? Maya's vision blurred. You can't. I can, and I will. Unless you come home. Bring my children home where they belong. Daniel reached for the phone. Maya pulled away. I'm not coming back, she said. Her voice shook but stayed firm. The kids are safe here. We're building a life. With who? That man I saw on your Facebook? The Asian guy? Ice flooded Maya's veins. You're watching me? I'm watching my children, making sure their mother isn't making stupid decisions. Raphael's voice turned soft, dangerous. Come home, Maya, before this gets complicated. The call ended. Maya sat frozen. The phone felt heavy in her hands. He can't actually do that, Daniel said. File for custody from another country, can he? I don't know. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. I don't know anything anymore. Daniel reached for her hand. She let him take it. We'll figure this out, he said. I know a lawyer, someone who specializes in immigration and family law. I can't afford a lawyer. Then I'll pay. No, Maya pulled her hand away. No, This is my problem, mine and the kids. I can't let you fix it. Maya, please take me home. The drive back was silent. When Daniel parked outside her building, Maya reached for the door handle. Wait, Daniel said. Just wait, please. She stopped. My mother was wrong about a lot of things tonight, he said, but she was right about one thing. This is complicated, and it's happening fast, and I don't want to make your life harder. You're not, the words surprised her. But they were true. You make it better. That's what scares me. What if we take a step back, Daniel offered. Just for now, until you talk to a lawyer. Figure out what Raphael can actually do. I'll still be here, still teaching your class, still available if you need help. But no pressure, no expectations. Maya wanted to argue, wanted to say they didn't need to change anything, but her hands were still shaking from the phone call. Okay, she said. Okay. She got out of the car, walked to her building. At the door, she looked back. Daniel was still there, waiting to make sure she got inside safely. She raised her hand in a small wave. He returned it. Then she went inside, and the door closed between them. Carmen found Maya crying in the bathroom at the community center the next day, Tuesday, after class. What happened? Carmen asked. Maya told her everything. Raphael's call, the custody threat, Daniel's family, the impossible weight of it all. Carmen listened, handed her tissues, waited until the tears slowed. First, Carmen said, Raphael is lying. He can't file for custody in the Philippines and have it enforced here. Not without an international treaty, which doesn't exist between the countries for this type of case. But he can make your life hell, trying. How do you know that? Because my ex tried the same thing. Carmen's smile was grim. Men like them use fear as control, even from a distance. What did you do? I got a lawyer, filed for a restraining order, documented everything, built a paper trail. Carmen squeezed Maya's hand. And I let people help me. That was the hardest part. I don't want to be a burden. Maya, Carmen's voice was firm. You volunteer here twice a week now. You help new refugees fill out forms. You translate for Filipino families. You made dinner for the Hernandez family when their mom was in the hospital. You give plenty. Let yourself receive. Maya wiped her eyes. Daniel wants to pay for a lawyer. Then let him. I barely know him. You know him enough to introduce him to your children, enough to go to his family's house, enough to cry in your car after his mother was cruel. Carmen's eyes were knowing. Sometimes we know people in 5 months better than others we've known for years. Maya wanted to argue, couldn't find the words. There's a community legal clinic on Thursdays, Carmen said. Free consultations. Come with me this week, just to see what your options are. Okay. And Maya? Carmen waited until she looked up. Whatever you decide about Daniel, decide it because it's what you want. Not because you're scared. Not because Raphael is threatening you. Because you deserve to choose your own life. The bathroom door opened. A student poked her head in, saw them, and quickly retreated. Maya almost laughed. We should go. Probably. But Carmen didn't move yet. One more thing. That night I left my husband. My sister asked me what finally made me do it. You know what I said? Maya shook her head. I realized my daughters were watching me accept crumbs and call it love. And I didn't want them to learn that's all they deserved. Carmen stood, offered her hand. Your kids are watching too. Maya took the hand, let Carmen pull her up. Outside, the rain had started again, but softer this time, like a promise that storms end. The community center hosted a refugee support event on Saturday. Cultural food, music, resources tables. Maya had volunteered to help set up. Daniel was there. They'd been carefully polite all week. Professional. Maya missed him like an ache. He was hanging paper lanterns when she arrived with Lucia and Miguel. Hi, she said. Hi. His smile was cautious, hopeful. Miguel ran to him immediately. "Daniel, up!" Daniel glanced at Maya. She nodded. He lifted Miguel, who giggled and pointed at the lanterns. "Pretty," Miguel said. "Very pretty," Daniel agreed. Lucia tugged on Maya's hand. "Mama, can I help with the food table?" "Go ask Carmen." Lucia ran off. Maya and Daniel stood in careful proximity. "How are you?" he asked. "Better. I went to the legal clinic. The lawyer said Raphael's threats are empty. I can file for full custody here. Build the paperwork." Relief flooded Daniel's face. "That's great." "Yeah," Maya paused. "I'm sorry for pulling away, for making this harder than it needed to be." "You didn't make anything hard. You were protecting yourself and your kids. That's exactly what you should do." Miguel squirmed. Daniel set him down. He immediately ran toward the bouncy house being inflated in the corner. "Mama, bounce!" he yelled. "In a few minutes," Maya called back. She turned back to Daniel. "Your mother was right about one thing. This is complicated. I have a lot of baggage, and you deserve someone easier." "I don't want easier." Daniel's voice was quiet but certain. "I want you." Maya's breath caught. "But only if you want this too," he continued. "Not because I'm helping with lawyers or because I'm nice to your kids, because you actually want to see where this goes." "I'm scared," Maya admitted. "Me too." Daniel smiled slightly. "But I think the best things are usually a little scary." Carmen appeared, holding a box of decorations. "Oh good, you two are talking." "Maya, can you help me with the banner?" "Daniel, the sound system is acting up again." They scattered to their tasks, but Maya felt lighter, less alone. The event started at noon. Families filled the center. Music played. Kids ran between tables while parents sampled food from a dozen different cultures. Maya stood at the Filipino food table, serving lumpia and pancit. Across the room, Daniel was helping with the sound. Their eyes met. He smiled. Miguel ran by with three other kids, shrieking with laughter. Lucia helped a younger child reach the origami table. "This," Maya thought, "this is what home could feel like." Then she saw her. Daniel's mother, Sunja, standing near the entrance, watching. Maya's stomach dropped. Sunja approached slowly. Maya forced herself not to step back. "Mrs. Park." "Miss Santos." Sunja's eyes swept the food table. "You made all this?" "Some. Carmen and others brought dishes too." "It looks very nice." A pause. "May I try the lumpia?" Maya's hands shook slightly as she plated one, handed it over with a napkin. Sunja took a small bite, chewed thoughtfully. "This is excellent. The wrapper is very crisp." "Thank you." They stood in awkward silence. Sunja looked around the room, at the families, the decorations, the joy. "Daniel has been volunteering here for 3 years," she said finally. "Every Saturday, he loves this place." Maya didn't know what to say. "He also loves helping people." Sunja's eyes moved back to Maya, sharp, assessing. "Sometimes too much. He forgets to protect himself." "I'm not trying to hurt him." "Maybe not intentionally." Sunja took another bite of lumpia. "But hurt happens anyway. You have children, complications, an ex-husband who calls. That's a lot for anyone to take on." "I know." "Do you?" Sunja's voice softened slightly. "Because Daniel will take it on. All of it. He'll pay for lawyers, help with childcare, fight your battles. That's who he is. And he won't see it as a burden. But it will be. Eventually." The words landed like stones in Maya's chest. "Unless," Sunja continued, "you're strong enough to build your own foundation first. To not need rescuing." Maya looked at her, really looked, and saw something unexpected in Sunja's eyes. Not cruelty, concern, for her son, but also maybe a grudging respect. "I don't want to be rescued," Maya said firmly. "I want to build something, with Daniel, not because I need him, because I choose him." Sunja studied her for a long moment. Then she handed back the empty plate. The lumpia was very good. You should sell it. She paused. Daniel tells me you work in a restaurant. Prep cook? Yes. Wasted talent. Sunja pulled a business card from her purse. My friend owns a catering company. She's looking for someone who can do Filipino cuisine. Better pay than prep work. I'll tell her to expect your call. Maya took the card, stunned. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just don't break my son's heart. Sunja's eyes were fierce. And if your ex-husband keeps calling, document everything. Date, time, what he said. It helps in court. Then she walked away. Maya stood holding the business card and the empty plate, feeling like the ground had shifted beneath her feet. Across the room, Daniel was watching, concerned. Maya gave him a small smile, held up the card. His eyebrows rose in question. Later, she mouthed. Grace appeared next to her mother. They spoke quietly. Grace glanced at Maya, then said something that made Sunja shake her head. But not angrily, almost amused. Maya turned back to the food table, served more lumpia, smiled at families, but her mind was spinning. Maybe home wasn't just a place. Maybe it was people who saw you and chose to stay anyway. The event wound down around 5. Volunteers cleaned up while kids crashed on benches, exhausted from bouncing and running. Maya was stacking chairs when Daniel found her. So, he said, what did my mom want? To threaten me, and then offer me a better job. Maya laughed at his expression. I don't understand her. Neither do I, most days. Daniel picked up 2 chairs at once. But if she gave you a business card, that's actually huge. She doesn't do that unless she respects someone. She thinks I'll hurt you. She thinks everyone will hurt me. Occupational hazard of being the youngest. He set down the chairs. But what do you think? Maya looked at him, at his patient eyes and his careful distance, and the way he'd shown up every day without pushing. I think, she took a breath, I think I want to try. Really try. Not halfway, not with 1 foot ready to run. Yeah? Yeah. Maya closed the distance between them. Your mom was right. I have complications, baggage, 2 kids, and an ex-husband who won't let go, and a citizenship interview in 8 weeks, and no idea what I'm doing. Okay, but I want to figure it out, and I want to figure it out with you. Daniel's smile started slow, then spread across his whole face. I can work with that. He reached for her hand. She let him take it, let herself feel the warmth of his palm against hers. Let herself imagine what it might be like to not be alone. Miguel appeared, dragging a balloon. Mama, home? Yes, baby. Soon. Maya looked at Daniel. Walk us out? Always. They gathered Lucia and Miguel, collected coats and bags, walked out into the cool October evening. The streetlights were just coming on. The air smelled like rain and fallen leaves. Maya's kids held her hands, sleepy and content. Daniel walked beside them, close enough to touch, far enough to give space. At her building, he stopped, crouched down to Lucia and Miguel's level. See you next week? He asked them. For English class? Lucia asked. And maybe ice cream after, if your mom says it's okay. Both kids looked at Maya with desperate hope. She pretended to think about it. Maybe. They groaned. Daniel laughed. He stood, looked at Maya. I'll see you Monday, regular class. And Thursday? She asked. Extra help? If you want. I want. His smile was soft, full of promise. Good. He didn't kiss her. Not yet. Not with the kids watching. But his hand brushed hers. Brief. Intentional. Then he walked to his car, waved before getting in. Maya stood on the sidewalk, kids at her sides, and watched him drive away. Mama, Lucia said, is Daniel your boyfriend? Maybe, Maya said. Would that be okay? Lucia considered this seriously. Does he like pen sit? Yes. Then okay. Miguel tugged her hand. Ice cream? Not tonight, baby. Next time. They went inside, up the stairs to the small room that was starting to feel less temporary, more like a beginning. Maya's phone buzzed, a text from Daniel. "Thank you for giving this a chance." She smiled, typed back, "Thank you for being patient." Outside, Portland settled into night. Rain started again, gentle on the windows. Maya made simple dinner while the kids played with blocks. Later, after they were asleep, she pulled out the business card Sunja had given her. Tomorrow she'd call, take the next step, build the foundation. Tonight she let herself imagine what it might feel like to have both roots and wings. The room was quiet, warm, safe, and for the first time in longer than she could remember, Maya thought maybe she deserved this. All of it. 2 weeks passed like held breath. Maya called the catering company, got the job, better hours, 20% more pay. Carmen helped her find after-school care for Lucia and Miguel. She attended ESL class, studied for the citizenship interview, practiced vocabulary with flashcards while waiting for the bus. Daniel kept his distance, polite, professional, but sometimes their eyes would meet across the classroom, and Maya felt that spark of possibility. They hadn't been alone together since the community event. No coffee, no extra practice sessions. By mutual, unspoken agreement, they were being careful. Maya hated it, missed him like a constant ache, but she was also grateful for the space to build her own foundation, to prove to herself and to Sunja's watchful eyes that she could stand on her own. The new job started on a Monday, a commercial kitchen in Southeast Portland, bright, clean, professional equipment. The owner, Mrs. Chen, was Taiwanese and warm. "Sunja speaks highly of you," Mrs. Chen said during the walkthrough. "Says you make excellent lumpia." She tried one piece. "Sunja Park doesn't give compliments lightly," Mrs. Chen smiled. "Can you start this Friday? We have an event Saturday, 200 guests, Filipino fusion menu." Maya's first instinct was panic. Then she remembered Carmen's words, "You give plenty, let yourself receive." "Yes," Maya said, "I can start Friday." That night she texted Daniel, "I got the job, the catering one. I start this week." His response came immediately, "That's amazing, congratulations." Then after a pause, "Dinner? To celebrate? You, me, and the kids?" Maya stared at her phone, felt her heart beat faster. "Yes." "When? Thursday?" "Okay." She set down the phone, smiled at the ceiling of her small room. Lucia looked up from her homework. "Why are you smiling, Mama?" "No reason, baby, just a good day." But it was more than that. It was the first day in a long time where the future felt less like a threat and more like a gift. Thursday evening, Daniel picked them up in his small sedan. Miguel immediately climbed into his lap before Maya could stop him. "Hey, buddy," Daniel said, "you have to sit in your car seat." "No." Miguel wrapped his arms around Daniel's neck. Lucia rolled her eyes like a tiny adult. "He does this with everyone he likes." "I'm honored." Daniel carefully untangled Miguel, buckled him into the booster seat Maya had brought. But safety first. They drove to a family restaurant near the waterfront, the kind with crayons and paper placemats. Nothing fancy. Perfect. Inside, they squeezed into a booth. Lucia and Miguel colored while waiting for food. Daniel helped Miguel draw a dinosaur. Maya watched them and felt something warm and terrifying settle in her chest. "How's the interview prep going?" Daniel asked when the kids were distracted. "Good, I think. Carmen has been quizzing me. The questions are straightforward, but I'm still nervous." "When is it?" 3 weeks. November 18th. "You'll pass." He said it with such certainty. "How do you know?" "Because you're one of the most determined people I've ever met." Daniel reached across the table, stopped just before her hand, asking permission. Maya closed the distance, let their fingers intertwine. "I missed you," she admitted quietly. "I was giving you space." "I know, and I needed it, but I also missed you. Daniel's smile was soft. We can do both, space and closeness. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. The food arrived, burgers and fries and chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. Miguel shrieked with delight. They ate and talked about easy things. The kids' preschool, Maya's first week at the catering company, Daniel's new student who only spoke Mandarin and kept accidentally teaching the whole class to count in Chinese. After dinner, they walked along the waterfront. The Willamette River was dark and smooth. City lights reflected on the surface like scattered stars. Lucia and Miguel ran ahead, chasing each other around lampposts. I talked to my mom, Daniel said, about us. Maya's stomach tightened. And? She's worried, but she's also impressed by you, which is rare. He paused. She also told me that if I was serious about this, I needed to be prepared for the reality. That dating someone with kids means the kids come first. Always. They do. I know, and I'm okay with that. Daniel stopped walking, turned to face her. I'm not trying to be their father, Maya. They have a father, even if he's not worthy of them. I just want to be someone safe in their life, and in yours. Maya looked at him, at his honest eyes and patient heart. What if it doesn't work? She asked. What if we try and it falls apart and the kids get hurt? Then we handle it carefully, kindly, like adults. Daniel took both her hands. But what if it does work? What if we're really good together? I don't know how to do this, Maya whispered. Healthy, normal. I only know how to survive. Then we'll figure it out together, one day at a time. Lucia's voice called from down the path. Mama, look, a boat. They walked to where the kids stood pointing at a small tourist boat passing under the bridge. Daniel's hand found Maya's again. She held on tight. Okay, she said, one day at a time. Yeah? Yeah. The boat passed. The river kept flowing. The city hummed around them. And Maya thought maybe this was what healing looked like. Not dramatic, not sudden, just small moments of choosing to try. The citizenship interview was scheduled for 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. Maya couldn't sleep the night before. She lay in bed reviewing vocabulary. How many senators? 100. How many representatives? 435. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. Her phone buzzed at midnight. Daniel, you're going to do great tomorrow. Get some sleep. Maya, how did you know I was awake? Daniel, because I know you, and you're probably reviewing flashcards right now. Maya looked at the cards spread on her bed, smiled despite her nerves. Maya, maybe. Daniel, go to sleep. You know this. Trust yourself. Maya, okay, thank you. Daniel, I'll be thinking about you. Text me when it's done? Maya, I will. She set down the phone, gathered the flashcards, put them away. Sleep came eventually, thin and restless, but it came. Morning arrived gray and wet. Maya dressed carefully. The blue shirt Carmen had helped her pick out. Clean pants, her only nice shoes. Rosa took the kids early. Carmen drove Maya to the immigration office downtown. You've got this, Carmen said at the entrance. Remember to breathe, speak clearly, don't rush. What if I fail? You won't, but if you do, you can retake it. This isn't life or death, though I know it feels that way. Maya hugged her quickly, went inside. The waiting room was full of nervous people from everywhere. Somalia, Ukraine, Mexico, Myanmar, all of them waiting to belong officially to this country that had taken them in. Maya Santos? A woman in business casual stood at a door. Kind face, clipboard. Maya followed her down a hallway, into a small office, 2 chairs, a desk, an American flag in the corner. I'm Officer Williams, the woman said. I'll be conducting your interview today. Are you ready? Maya's mouth was dry. Yes. Great, let's begin. The questions came steady, not cruel, just thorough. What is freedom of religion? The right to practice any religion or no religion. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? Native Americans. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. World War II. Maya answered each one. Her voice grew steadier as she went. Then Officer Williams asked, "Why do you want to become a citizen?" Maya had practiced this answer, had the right words ready. Safe, opportunity, future. But what came out was different. "I want my children to grow up knowing they belong somewhere, that they have a home where no one can tell them to leave, where they can build lives and have dreams and not be afraid." Officer Williams wrote something down, nodded. "Tell me about your children." "Lucia is 7, Miguel is 4. They're learning English faster than me," Maya smiled. "Lucia wants to be a veterinarian. Miguel wants to be a dinosaur." Officer Williams laughed. "Those are good goals. And you? What do you want to be?" No one had asked Maya that in years, maybe ever. "I want to be someone my children can be proud of," she said. "Someone who showed them it's possible to start over, to choose better, to build something from nothing." Officer Williams set down her pen, looked at Maya directly. "You already are that person, Mrs. Santos." Maya's eyes stung. She blinked hard. The interview continued. More questions. Reading test. Writing test. Maya's hand only shook a little. 40 minutes later, Officer Williams stood, shook Maya's hand. "Congratulations, your application has been approved. You'll receive your naturalization ceremony date in the mail within 2 weeks." Maya stood frozen. "I passed?" "You passed. Welcome to citizenship, Mrs. Santos." The walk out of the building was a blur. Carmen was waiting in the lobby, took one look at Maya's face and knew. "You did it." Maya nodded, couldn't speak. Tears were streaming down her face now. They stood in the lobby of the immigration office. Two women who'd fled bad situations and rebuilt their lives, and hugged while other nervous applicants watched. Outside, Maya pulled out her phone, texted Daniel with shaking hands. "I passed." His response was immediate. "I knew it. I'm so proud of you." Then, "Can I see you? Tonight?" Maya looked at Carmen. "Can you watch the kids for a few hours tonight?" Carmen smiled. "Absolutely." Daniel picked Maya up at 7. They drove in comfortable silence to a park overlooking the city. The rain had stopped. The sky was clearing to stars. They sat on a bench. The city lights spread below them like a constellation. "How does it feel?" Daniel asked. "Unreal. Like if I blink too hard, it'll disappear." Maya looked at her hands. "I keep thinking about the day I left Manila, how scared I was, how sure I was that I'd fail." "But you didn't." "No," she turned to him. "But I also didn't do it alone. Carmen helped. Rosa helped. The legal clinic, the ESL program, you. You did the hard part. We just walked with you." Maya leaned her head on his shoulder, felt him tense in surprise, then relax. His arm came around her. They sat like that for a while, quiet, present. "My lawyer finished the custody paperwork," Maya said eventually. "Rafael can't touch us legally, and if he keeps calling, I can file for harassment." "Has he called recently?" "Not in 2 weeks. I think he's finally giving up." She paused. "Or he found someone else to control." Daniel's arm tightened around her. "I'm sorry you went through that." "Me too. But it led me here, to Portland, to this." She gestured at the city, at the two of them. "So maybe it wasn't all bad." "Don't do that." Maya looked up. "What?" "Find silver linings in trauma. What he did to you was wrong. Full stop. It's good that you survived, that you're building something better, but you don't have to be grateful for the pain that got you here." The words settled into Maya like stones into water. True, heavy, real. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For seeing me, all of me, the scared parts and the strong parts." She sat up, turned to face him. "I'm ready." "Ready for what?" To stop being careful. To let you in. Really in. Maya took his hands. I'm still scared. I still have baggage. The kids will always come first. But I want this. Us. Daniel's smile was slow, radiant. Yeah? Yeah. He leaned forward, paused just before their lips met, giving her space to change her mind. Maya closed the distance. The kiss was soft, tentative, then deeper. Daniel's hand came up to cup her face. Maya's fingers tangled in his shirt. When they pulled apart, both were breathing hard. I've wanted to do that for months, Daniel admitted. Me too. They kissed again, softer this time, sweeter. Above them, the stars were coming out. Below, the city hummed with 1,000 other lives being lived. Rebuilt, reimagined. Maya pulled back, rested her forehead against Daniel's. What happens now? She asked. Whatever we want, Daniel smiled. One day at a time, remember? I remember. They stayed at the park until the cold drove them back to the car. Daniel drove Maya home, walked her to her door. See you Thursday? He asked. Class? And after class? Maya asked. Just us? I'd like that. She kissed him again, quick and sure, then went inside before she could lose her nerve. Upstairs, Carmen was reading to the kids. They looked up when Maya entered. Mama! Miguel launched himself at her. We made cookies! I see that. Maya kissed his sticky face, looked at Carmen over his head. Thank you. Carmen's smile was knowing. Any time. They were good. Mostly. After Carmen left, Maya got the kids ready for bed. Miguel fell asleep immediately. Lucia stayed awake staring at the ceiling. Mama, she said quietly, are you happy? Maya thought about that. About citizenship and new jobs, and a man with patient eyes who made her believe in second chances. Yes, baby, I am. Good, Lucia rolled over. You should be. Maya kissed her forehead, turned off the light. In her own bed later, she stared at the ceiling and let herself feel it. The happiness, the hope, the terrifying, wonderful possibility of a future she got to choose. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, sweet dreams. Maya, you too. She set down the phone, closed her eyes, and for the first time since she could remember, she fell asleep without checking the locks twice. The next Thursday, Maya's phone rang during her prep shift at the catering kitchen. Raphael's number. She stared at it. Her first instinct was panic. Then she remembered. The custody papers, the legal protections, the fact that she'd passed her citizenship interview. He had no power here. Maya answered. Put it on speaker so Mrs. Chen could hear if needed. Hello? Maya. Raphael's voice was different. Flat. Tired. I'm getting married again. Of all the things she'd expected, that wasn't it. Congratulations. Her name is Teresa. She has a daughter. We're moving to Cebu. A pause. I'm letting go of the custody thing. My lawyer said it was pointless anyway. Maya gripped the counter. Okay. I want to talk to the kids sometimes. Video calls, if that's allowed. Every instinct screamed no. But Maya thought of Lucia asking when Daddy would stop calling, of Miguel who barely remembered him. Once a month, she said, supervised, through a video platform I choose. And if you're drunk or angry or say anything cruel, I end the call immediately. Fine. And Raphael, Maya's voice hardened, if you ever threaten me again, I will document everything and make sure Teresa knows exactly who she's marrying. Understand? Silence. Then, quietly, yeah, I understand. The call ended. Maya set down the phone. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear, from relief, from the weight of 3 years lifting off her shoulders. Mrs. Chen appeared with tea. You okay? Yeah, Maya took the cup. I think I finally am. That night she told Daniel. They were at a small Thai restaurant near his apartment. The kids were with Rosa. How do you feel? Daniel asked. Free, Maya smiled. scared that it's a trick, but mostly free. It's not a trick, he's moving on. That's good. The kids can video call him once a month. I said yes. She looked at Daniel. Is that okay? Does that bother you? Why would it bother me? Because you're, Maya gestured vaguely, you're becoming important to them, to us, and he's still their father, even if he was terrible at it. Daniel reached across the table, took her hand. Maya, I'm not trying to replace him or compete with him. Your kids need to know their father, even if he's flawed. That's healthy. It doesn't threaten what we're building. You're sure? I'm sure. He squeezed her hand. Besides, I'm not going anywhere. Maya felt tears prick her eyes, happy tears this time. I love you. The words slipped out, unplanned. Daniel went very still. What? I love you. Maya said it again, clearer. I didn't mean to say it like this, but it's true. I love you. Daniel's smile started slow, then spread across his whole face. I love you too. Have for weeks. Was trying to be patient and not scare you off. You can't scare me off. I'm tougher than I look. I know. Daniel stood, came around the table, kissed her in the middle of the restaurant. You're the toughest person I know. When they sat back down, both grinning like teenagers, the waitress brought dessert they hadn't ordered. On the house, she said, for young love. Maya laughed. We're not that young. Young enough, the waitress winked. They shared mango sticky rice and talked about the future, about Maya's naturalization ceremony, about Thanksgiving plans, about Daniel maybe meeting Rosa and the other people who'd become Maya's community. Later, Daniel drove her home, walked her to the door. Can I come up? He asked. Just to say hi to the kids? They're probably asleep. Then just to see you for 5 more minutes. Maya kissed him. Okay. They climbed the stairs quietly. Inside, the kids were indeed asleep. Rosa was reading on the couch. All good? Maya asked. Perfect angels. Rosa gathered her things, hugged Maya goodbye, nodded politely at Daniel. After she left, Daniel and Maya stood in the small kitchen. The apartment was quiet, peaceful. This is nice, Daniel said. It's tiny. It's yours. That makes it perfect. He pulled her close. Thank you. For what? For letting me in, for loving me, for trusting me with your heart. Maya rested her head on his chest, listened to his heartbeat, steady, reliable. Thank you for being worth the risk, she said. They stayed like that until Daniel had to leave. One more kiss at the door, one more promise to see each other soon. After he left, Maya checked on the kids, both sleeping soundly. She pulled their blankets higher, kissed their foreheads. Then she sat on her bed and looked around the small room. At the walls she'd stared at during countless sleepless nights. At the window where she'd watched Portland rain and wondered if she'd made a mistake coming here. No mistake. This was exactly where she was supposed to be. Maya's naturalization ceremony was held on a cold December morning. The federal building downtown was grand, imposing, beautiful. 200 people from 63 countries gathered in the auditorium. Everyone dressed in their best, clutching small American flags, nervous and excited and proud. Daniel sat in the audience with Lucia and Miguel. Carmen was there too, and Rosa, and Mrs. Chen from the catering company. Even Sunja Park had come, sitting stiffly, but present. The judge spoke about what it meant to be American, about the courage it took to leave everything behind and start over, about how diversity made the country stronger. Then they took the oath, together, voices raised in promise. I hereby declare, on oath, that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance. Maya spoke the words clearly, felt them settle into her bones. When it was done, when they were all officially citizens, the room erupted in applause. People cried, hugged, waved their little flags. Maya found her group in the lobby. Miguel ran to her first. Mama, you did it! She scooped him up, kissed his face. We did it, baby, all of us. Lucia hugged her waist. Daniel waited his turn, then pulled her into his arms. Congratulations, citizen, he whispered. Thank you. She pulled back, looked at Sunja. Mrs. Park, thank you for coming. Sunja nodded, then, surprising everyone, stepped forward and hugged Maya briefly. You've worked very hard, she said. You should be proud. It wasn't warm, but it was real, and Maya would take it. They went to lunch after, a big group at a Vietnamese restaurant, everyone talking and laughing and celebrating. Lucia sat between Maya and Daniel. Miguel fell asleep in Carmen's lap. Speech, Rosa called. Maya should make a speech. No, no, Maya waved her hands. But everyone was looking at her, waiting. She stood, cleared her throat. I don't have fancy words, she started. My English is still not perfect, but I want to say thank you. To Carmen, who helped me when I had nothing. To Rosa, who watched my babies. To Mrs. Chen, who gave me a chance. To Daniel, who taught me that kindness isn't weakness. Daniel's eyes were bright. I came here scared and alone, Maya continued. I thought survival was enough. But you all showed me that life can be more than just surviving. It can be living, building, loving. She raised her water glass. So thank you for making Portland my home. Everyone raised their glasses, clinked them together. Later after lunch, Daniel drove them back to Maya's apartment. The kids ran inside ahead of them. On the sidewalk, Daniel pulled Maya close. I'm proud of you, he said. I couldn't have done it without you. Yes, you could have. You're strong enough on your own. But I'm glad you didn't have to. Maya kissed him, long and slow, not caring who saw. When they broke apart, she said, Move in with us. Daniel blinked. What? This apartment is tiny. You have a lease until March. But after that, move in with us. Find a bigger place together. Build something. Maya, that's too fast? Maybe, but I'm tired of slow and careful. I want you here. The kids want you here, so move in with us. Daniel laughed, picked her up and spun her around right there on the sidewalk. Yes, he said, absolutely yes. From the window above, Lucia cheered. Miguel pressed his face to the glass. They waved up at the kids, then went inside together. And Maya thought about the woman who'd arrived in Portland 7 months ago. Scared, broken, sure she'd never be whole again. That woman had been wrong. Healing wasn't about becoming unbroken. It was about building something new with the pieces. 6 months later, spring arrived in Portland with cherry blossoms and gentle rain. Maya stood in the kitchen of their new apartment. Bigger, brighter, 2 bedrooms so the kids each had their own space. Windows that let in morning light. She was making lumpia for a client event. Daniel was helping, his technique improving, but still clumsy. Like this? He held up a poorly wrapped roll. Almost, Maya showed him again. Fold, tuck, roll, seal. Practice. Lucia was reading on the couch. Miguel was building a tower with blocks. The TV played something animated in the background. Daniel's phone buzzed. He wiped his hands, checked it. Mom wants us for dinner Sunday. You good with that? Yeah, what should I bring? She specifically requested your pancit. Maya smiled. Over the past months, Sunja had slowly thawed. Still formal, still cautious, but genuinely trying. Last month, she'd shown up with gifts for the kids. Books for Lucia, Legos for Miguel. And she'd stayed for tea, asking Maya about the catering business, like she actually cared about the answer. Progress, slow, but real. I can make pancit, Maya said. The doorbell rang. Daniel went to answer it. Carmen stood there with a young woman and 2 small children. Maya, Carmen called, this is Elena. From Guatemala, just arrived last week. I told her you might be able to help with some questions. Maya wiped her hands on her apron, came to the door. Elena looked terrified, exhausted. Her kids clung to her legs. Maya knew that look, had worn it herself not so long ago. "Hi, Elena," she said gently. "Come in. Do you want tea?" Elena nodded, followed her inside. The children stared at everything with wide eyes. Maya made tea, sat with Elena at the kitchen table. Carmen translated when Maya's Spanish wasn't enough. "I don't know what I'm doing," Elena whispered. "Everything is so hard." "I know," Maya said. "It is hard, but you're stronger than you think. And you're not alone." They talked for an hour. Maya shared resources, phone numbers, advice about ESL classes and childcare, and how to navigate the system. Before Elena left, she hugged Maya tight. "Thank you. I was so scared I'd fail." "You won't fail," Maya said. "And even if you stumble, there are people here to catch you." After they left, Daniel pulled Maya into his arms. "You're amazing," he said. "I'm just paying it forward." Still amazing. They finished making lumpia together, fed the kids dinner, gave them baths, read bedtime stories. After the kids were asleep, Maya and Daniel sat on their small balcony. The city lights spread below them. Rain misted gently down. "Do you ever miss Manila?" Daniel asked. Maya thought about the city where she'd grown up, where she'd met Raphael, where she'd learned what love wasn't supposed to be. "Sometimes," she admitted, "I miss my Lola, the food, the way the air smells after rain. But I don't miss the person I was there. Small, scared, convinced I deserved the pain. You never deserved that." "I know." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "It took me a long time to know, but I do now." They sat in comfortable silence. "I got an email today," Maya said, "from a Filipino community organization. They want me to speak at their women's support group about my story, about rebuilding. Are you going to do it?" "I think so. If I can help even one woman see that leaving is possible, that starting over is possible, then it's worth it." Daniel kissed the top of her head. "I love you." "I love you too." The rain picked up slightly. They went inside, checked on the kids one more time, both sleeping peacefully. In their bedroom, Maya looked at the framed photo on the dresser. Her citizenship ceremony, all of them together, smiling. She thought about the voicemail she'd kept for so long. Raphael's voice asking her to call back. She'd finally deleted it last month, didn't need it anymore. That chapter was closed. This one was just beginning. Daniel wrapped his arms around her from behind, rested his chin on her shoulder. "Happy?" he asked. Maya looked around their bedroom, at the life they'd built, the family they were becoming. "Yeah," she said, "I really am." Outside, Portland hummed its familiar song, rain and traffic and the soft sounds of a city settling into night. Inside, warmth and light and the quiet knowledge that home wasn't a place you were born, it was a place you chose to build. And Maya had chosen well. 1 year later, Maya stood at the front of a packed community center hall. 200 people filled the chairs. Filipino families, other immigrants, people curious about her story. The speaking event had grown beyond anything she'd imagined. Local news had picked it up. A nonprofit had asked her to join their board. But tonight was simple, just her story, and the hope that it might help someone else. Daniel sat in the front row with Lucia and Miguel. Carmen was there, Rosa, Mrs. Chen, Sunja Park looking almost proud. Grace had come too, smiling genuinely now when she looked at Maya. Maya took a breath, began. "My name is Maya Santos. 2 years ago, I arrived in Portland with 2 suitcases, 2 kids, and no idea if I'd make it. I was running from a man who'd convinced me I was nothing without him, that I deserved the pain, that leaving would destroy my children." The room was silent, listening. "I was wrong about all of it. Leaving saved my children. It saved me. But I couldn't have done it alone." She talked about Carmen, about the ESL classes, about the legal clinic and the catering job and all the small kindnesses that had built into a life. She talked about Daniel, about learning to trust again, to love without fear. I'm not special, Maya said. I'm just a woman who got tired of surviving and decided to live instead. And if I can do it, so can you. After the talk, people lined up to speak with her. Women with stories like hers. Some still stuck. Some recently escaped. All looking for hope. Maya gave what she could. Phone numbers, resources, her own email address. Call me anytime, she told a young woman from Somalia. Seriously, even at 2 a.m. If you need help, call. Hours later, the hall emptied. Maya's feet hurt. Her voice was hoarse, but her heart was full. Daniel appeared with the kids. Miguel was asleep on his shoulder. Lucia held his hand. Ready to go home? Daniel asked. Yeah. They walked to the car. The night was clear, rare for Portland, stars visible above the city lights. Mama, Lucia said, were you really that scared when we came here? Maya crouched down to her level. Yes, baby, I was terrified. But you did it anyway? I did it anyway, because you and Miguel were worth being brave for. Lucia hugged her. I'm glad you were brave. Me too, sweetheart. They drove home through quiet streets. Inside their apartment, Maya and Daniel got the kids to bed, then collapsed on the couch together. That was incredible, Daniel said. You're going to change lives. I just told the truth. Sometimes that's all it takes. Maya snuggled into his side, felt the steady rhythm of his breathing, the warmth of his arm around her. Thank you, she said quietly. For what? For seeing me when I couldn't see myself, for loving the broken parts, for staying when it was hard. Thank you for letting me. Daniel kissed her forehead. For trusting me with your heart, with your kids, with all of it. They sat in comfortable silence. The apartment was quiet except for the distant sound of rain starting again. Maya thought about the journey, from Manila to Portland, from fear to hope, from broken to whole. It hadn't been easy. There had been setbacks, moments of doubt, times she'd wanted to give up. But she'd kept going, one day at a time, one choice at a time, building a life from scattered pieces. And now, 2 years later, she had everything she'd been too afraid to dream of. Citizenship, a career, a partner who loved her, kids who were thriving, a home, a real one, built on trust and honesty and the courage to try again. What are you thinking? Daniel asked. Maya smiled. That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Me too. Outside, the rain fell gentle and steady. Inside, warmth and light, and the quiet knowledge that some endings are really beginnings. And Maya Santos, who had fled across an ocean carrying nothing but her children and hope, had rebuilt herself into someone she was proud to be. Someone who knew she deserved love, deserved safety, deserved joy. Someone who had finally, truly, come home. The end.